adventurer and motivational speaker Ivan Zimmerman has just touched down from a 5-month-long cycle from Istanbul to Beijing. He's here to tell us all about it. Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, so good seeing you again. Thank you so much.
Well, it was exhausting just saying 5-month cycle from Istanbul to Beijing.
Yeah, it was actually Beijing to
Was
Istanbul.
it Beijing to Istanbul?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So I started in, I remember last year people went like
Cape to Cairo. I think I made
well.
that same mistake last year.
Yeah, most people do.
Why are you doing everything backwards?
You know what it is? The original routes and the way they were marketed is actually Cape Town to Cairo and Istanbul to Beijing. But I'm doing everything backwards for some reason. So it was Cairo to Cape Town and now Beijing to Istanbul.
So I know the last time we spoke about some of the challenges, some of the highlights along the way. Before we started this interview, you said it was just very tiring and tough. Tell me about how this trip compared to the last one from Cairo to Cape Town.
The route and the riding itself was just so much harder, you know, a lot more climbing. Temperatures of -5 degrees Celsius in the morning, you know, it only heats up at about 12. Mongolia gets -40, -45 degrees in the winter, and in their spring it's -5, at the coldest that I experienced was one morning was -8 degrees, you know. And then of course just the huge culture shock, you know, it's not like South Africa at all, or you don't speak English. That's non-existing. People don't even know where South Africa is.
What country gave you the biggest culture shock?
Pretty much the whole of Asia, but really special to me was Mongolia. You know, it's the least populated country in the world per square kilometer, and it's you know, living a nomadic lifestyle is just so much different than what we are used to, and there was a great beauty to that. It was tough. I realized how hard it must be to go through Mongolia in the winter or make a living there, and these guys just make this amazing living. Yeah, and then obviously the big challenges for this journey was the cold. I struggled a bit in the first 2 weeks. I shed a tear in my tent one night and I went like, Ivan, what the beep are you doing
Shame,
now? You know?
Ivan.
And it's in one of these storms that I also damaged my tent pretty badly, and I had to improvise. It broke, it actually snapped the tent poles.
Oh
and
my gosh.
it's expedition tent, you know, and it snapped the poles. So for 4 months I slept in a crooked little house that stood like this. I would now say doing Asia and the old Silk Route is not for sissies, you know.
Really? Did you want to quit at any time? Like seriously, were you seriously thinking about quitting?
Look, you go through a couple of things in terms of it's a twofold challenge, you know. It's the mental side of it, and it's the physical side of it. Physically, I was fine, you know. Mentally, there's a couple of things that happened that I was able to deal with physically, but it kind of like just puts a bit of a dent in your armor, if I can put it that way. I broke a pedal, which never happens with that kind of, and where it broke, I broke that in Siberia, and I broke the crank in a way that it never breaks like that. Okay. So I had to pedal for more than a day with one foot, with one leg, to get to a point. Yeah, the one day was 100 kilometers where I had to pedal with one leg. And then you kind of think, because remember, these expeditions must be enjoyable as well. And my choice of how I'm doing these adventures is obviously now a mountain bike. So pedaling with one leg, you kind of like start thinking about all these negative thoughts about, hey, I'm already doing something tough on a bicycle, and now I can't even pedal the bicycle, you know? So then you become a bit negative. And then mentally, the third thing that really made me ask the question is, what am I doing? was I just got bad news from home, you know, like my brother got diagnosed with Parkinson's. And here you are in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of nowhere, and you actually want to be with your family. So mentally that was a tough thing as well. And then because of previous adventures, you kind of like teach yourself and then learn through mistakes how to switch your mind from a negative place into a positive place to be able to finish these distances. You know, on this expedition we cycled, I think it was 135 kilometers a day on average. Okay.
Now you weren't only cycling to challenge yourself, you were also raising funds for students.
Yeah, we got a great foundation that was started beginning last year. Fees for All. It's feesforall.org.za. We already have 15 students on this program, funding them for university. It's really students that's proven themselves, you know,
Yeah.
that's really struggling financially. So that's of course is one of the motivations, you know, on a tough day with the wind from the front and you know, sub-zero temperatures, and you kind of like start thinking about why am I here? Then it definitely gives you a boost, you know.
Like your one pedal.
Yeah.